Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for gathering here today. I want to talk to you about something that touches every one of us, no matter where we are in life. God's plan. Life can be unpredictable, full of twists and turns that we never see coming. But through it all, there is a plan, a divine plan crafted by God Himself. It's a plan that gives meaning to our journey, even when we don't fully understand it. God's plan is often mysterious, hidden from our immediate view. We might find ourselves in situations that seem unfair, confusing, or painful. In these moments, it's easy to ask, why is this happening to me? But what if we looked at these challenges through a different lens? What if, instead of questioning God's plan, we trusted it? Consider the story of Joseph in the Bible. Sold into slavery by his brothers, falsely accused, and thrown into prison, Joseph's life was filled with hardship. Yet, through it all, he remained faithful, trusting that God had a greater purpose for his life. And indeed, God used Joseph's trials to position him as a leader in Egypt, ultimately saving many lives during a famine. In our own lives, we may not always see the full picture. We might be going through a difficult season right now, unsure of what the future holds. But just like Joseph, we are called to trust in God's plan, even when the path is unclear. Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This verse doesn't promise a life free of pain or challenges, but it does promise that God's plan is ultimately for our good. Trusting in God's plan requires perseverance. It's not about sitting back and waiting for things to get better. It's about moving forward in faith, even when we don't have all the answers. It's about believing that every step we take, every challenge we face, is part of a larger purpose that God has set in motion. Think about the people who have inspired you, those who have faced adversity with courage and grace. Their strength often comes from a deep faith in something greater than themselves. They understand that their journey, with all its ups and downs, is part of God's plan for their lives. One of the hardest things to accept is that God's timing is not our timing. We live in a world that values instant results, but God's plan unfolds in His perfect timing. When things don't happen as quickly as we'd like, it's easy to become frustrated or discouraged. But remember, delay does not mean denial. In the Bible, we see countless examples of God's timing at work. Abraham and Sarah waited years for the promised child. David was anointed as king but waited many years before he actually took the throne. These stories remind us that waiting is often part of God's plan. It's during these times of waiting that our faith is tested and strengthened. As I close, I want to encourage you to trust in God's plan for your life. Know that every experience, every challenge, and every blessing is part of His divine purpose. We may not always understand it, and it may not always be easy, but God's plan is always good. Let us walk forward with faith, embracing the mystery, trusting in His timing, and persevering with hope. Because when we trust in God's plan, we find peace, purpose, and the strength to overcome whatever life may bring. Thank you